Welcome back, everyone, to Mona's Take. I am your host, Mona Rose, and we are here to talk about everything reality TV. I'm not doing an intro or anything tonight. There is so much to go over. Right now, it's 2:30 in the morning, my time, Central Time. So it's 12:30 at night in the Big Brother house. I've already got way more notes than what I normally take, so I'm going to cut it off here, make a video, and then go back and catch up with the rest of it. There's just so much going on. First, I want to start out with the show tonight. I'm glad that they showed some of Nicole and Daniel showing their total ass. I wish they would have showed all of it, but at least America got a little bit of glimpse into what's going on at the house. Now, if you're a casual watcher, if you just watch the episodes and you don't watch the live feeds, you probably have no idea where this came from, and it's out of left field. Those of us that have been watching the live feeds know that Taylor has been treated horribly in that house since day one by a lot of people, not just Nicole and Daniel. They could have showed some of the Mean Girls Club. They could have showed how those girls are treating her, how they're treating Brittany. No, they didn't show any of that. So I was a little disappointed with that. But I'm glad that we got to see the big blow up between Daniel and Taylor and Nicole and Taylor, because they showed their whole ass, both of them. And what you saw tonight was only a portion of it. It was a lot worse. I loved that they showed the part about Nicole coming out of the diary room and being upset, and everybody in the living room praying and crying and just biting their nails, waiting on some information, thinking that something happened to Nicole's mother, when no, it didn't have anything to do with any of that. It had to do with the questions that production was asking her in the DR, which made her believe that she was a horrible person because of the way she was treating Taylor. Drama, drama, drama. Her and Daniel both, like I said earlier, they're like two children. I love that they were giving Taylor the edit that she finally deserves. It's been a long time coming. That was a hard episode to watch. I don't think that I've ever, in 24 seasons, cried while watching Big Brother. I've screamed, I've hollered, I've yelled, but I don't think I've ever cried. I cried tonight. That was so painful to watch that poor girl. And just the total raw emotion of what the hell is going on. So it was a difficult episode for me. I cried right along with her. The fact that nobody in that house stood up for Taylor, not one single house guest, stepped in and said, whoa, 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 let's give that a rest, or that's not right, or any of that. Not one single house guest stood up for her during that whole situation. I blame that whole house. The only one that was not downstairs when that was going on was Turner, and he was in his HOH room, I think asleep at the time. But not one of those people stood up for her. As a matter of fact, Jasmine told Taylor, just give Daniel some space. Just give him some space. She didn't look at Daniel and said, whoa, dial it back or anything. She looked at Taylor, the victim of all of this. Just give him some space. That being said, I totally missed the formation of the Pound, which was Kyle, Monty, Turner, and Joseph. I don't think it lasted for more than a day before they realized that they need to bring other people in. And so I don't think that's an all guys alliance like they tried to portray it on the show tonight. I believe that's what it started as. And then Kyle was like, we need to go in and we need to bring all these people that are on the outside. We need to bring them to our side, and then we'll have the numbers. And it's an honest to God alliance. They waited for all of them to be up there before they named it. They've been discussing moves and been discussing gameplay. It's like kind of like telephone because they don't want to all be seen together. So when one finds out something, they give it to the rest. They give it to somebody else, and then they take it to somebody else within the group. So I honestly think that it's a 100% true alliance. And oh my God, Jasmine with her fainting during the POV meeting, I thought I was going to fall out. If she even actually fainted, I honestly don't know. From the edit, it looked like she did. But if you see Jasmine in the house, you know that she's all for people waiting on her hand and foot. She's all for getting out of comps. She's all for getting out of have not. She is just sitting there like a queen in her bed, letting everyone feed her. The only time she gets out of her bed is once in a blue moon to go talk game to someone. But the rest of the time she's in her bed, except for to go to the bathroom. And letting everybody wait on her. So how many times this season do y'all think you'll hear, I've been medically cleared to compete, but I've decided not to compete? Let's see if we can keep tally. I was so proud of Brittany. That girl worked her tail off for that comp. I think Taylor would have done much better if she hadn't been so rattled because of what had just happened right before the comp. But I was very proud of Brittany. It was nice to see her so excited and so happy. Nicole tells Kyle that there's not an all-girls alliance, but that all of the women want to stay strong together. But let's get Taylor out of this house. And Kyle says, sounds like a plan to me. What else are you going to say? Amira, Indy, and Alyssa talk. Amira says that Turner is telling people that on the block there's a winner and there's a loser. That's not true. He never said winner and loser. He said one person on the block can win this game with one hand tied behind their back and the other can't. One's a smart move and one's a not so smart move. He's never called anyone a loser. Monty, Kyle, and Turner talk. Monty fills them in on Nicole, saying that she was thinking about voting Amira out, that she just can't find herself in her heart to vote out Terrence. Turner said that he told Jasmine that Daniel and Nicole knew what he was going to do before he did it. So they're starting to plant those seeds where the other side of the house will lose their mind. Monty tells Kyle and Turner that Amira says Daniel and Nicole are voting for her to stay, but they told Monty the opposite. Every member of the leftovers is playing their part, and they're all planting these little seeds. Brittany talks to Terrence this morning, and Brittany needs to say less. They're having their one-on-one, and she said that she had heard ramblings that there was a alliance with all the old people in the house. And she's like, what the heck? I'm 31 years old and I'm not in it? Terrence kind of deflects that off, trying to get the attention off the old school alliance. And Joseph, he needs to slow down when he's talking. He's, I don't remember who he was talking to. I think he may have been talking to Jasmine. And yeah, he was talking to Jasmine. And he let it slip that Amira was he said, Turner's sending Amira home. He quickly changed it up and said, I mean, he's trying to send her home. But that was a slip of the tongue, and every little thing inside the Big Brother house can blow up into a big thing. Yeah, it was Jasmine. And Jasmine's saying that she wants to win HOH because she doesn't want to be on slop next week. Now, Turner and Jasmine are the only ones, I think, so far that have not been on slop. And Jasmine said, I'm not trying to get out of it. I just need another week for my ankle. I just need another week for my ankle. She's got a boot that she will not wear. We saw it on the episode tonight. She would rather wheel around on that stupid little cart thing and lay in the bed or lay on the couch and let everybody wait on her hand and foot. She's not even tried to put any weight on that foot. Terrence tells Taylor that it's going to be stupid that if he walks out the door this week because they have a chance to get rid of a big target and that they need to take that chance. And he tells her, he said, if I'm voted out, you need to fight your ass off. You need to get in the game. You need to fight. And she said, yeah, I know. No more naps. Terrence is complaining that Amira is so confident. Amira has not campaigned at all. To nobody. Terrence had all of his one-on-ones this morning. Amira's walking around the house thinking she's got it beat. She ain't going nowhere. Amira, Alyssa, and Jasmine are talking. And Amira is saying that she likes Taylor. And Jasmine said it would take her a little longer to get there because she's been in the rooms when things have been said. And it's just going to take her a little bit longer to get there. Nicole pulls Michael into the have-not room. And she tells him that she's voting for Amira to stay. But that she needs to find out where everybody else is at because she don't want to be on the wrong side of the house. But nobody will tell her who they're voting for. They say they don't know yet. And she said either, number one, they don't trust me, which is fine with me. She never did have a number two. But that's all she, and Michael's like, well, I honestly, I don't know. I'm looking at the bigger picture. And honestly, for me, to keep Terrence is better for my game. He's like, I'm just going to keep going on the block every week and being used as a pawn every week. And she said, oh no, that's not going to happen. I've put my foot down. I've told everybody that you and Brittany are not going back on the block, that I am sick of it. I'm so sick of it. You're not going back on the block anymore. Michael points out the fact that Amira has not campaigned at all. She hasn't come to talk to me. She hasn't told me where her head's at. So Terrence came to me this morning. I told him I was going to hear both of them out and then I'd make my decision. And he said, which is only right and only fair, to give both parties a chance. He said, but she hasn't even come and talked to me. And that she seemed too confident and he wonders if she's got something else going on as far as alliances. Nicole tells Michael that it's hard for her because she doesn't completely trust Monty and Kyle. And Alyssa's got a big mouth. And Michael said, oh really? Has she said something? Nicole, oh, she's let so many things slip that it's just, she's got loose lips and I can't trust her with anything. And Michael said, really, what has she said? Well, she just slipped this morning and told Terrence that she was going to miss him being in the house. And The only other slip up was the one where she slipped up when Indy was in the room. And so that's twice that I know of that she slipped up. And it happens. You get to talking to people and you forget where you're at. You forget who's around you. And you can have a momentary lapse in judgment. It happens. Kyle comes in and joins them. And she's basically talking to Michael and Kyle like they're children. I'm not telling you boys what to do. But I'm telling you, if you're not going to vote to keep Terrence, you need to tell him. You need to be honest with the man. Because I can't sleep tonight unless I'm honest with him. And Kyle and Michael are like, well, you know, we kind of haven't said anything either way because Amira hasn't said anything to us. Hasn't campaigned to us at all. And it was just like she was being bossy, telling him, well, this is what you need to do. That man deserves our respect. You don't need to string him along till tomorrow. That's not fair. And I'm going down and I'm going to tell everybody. I'm telling him tonight that he's going home. Because I don't feel good about myself if I don't. This was comical. And I don't know how they're going to edit it. But it's comical. It deserves to be on the show. Nicole pulls Terrence up to the HOH room. And she starts out with her fake crying as soon as they get in the room. Immediately. And says, I just love you, Terrence. I just love you, Terrence. And it breaks my heart that you're not going to be here anymore. And this isn't fair. And he said, yeah, I kind of figured that. I didn't figure I would have the votes to stay. And she said, maybe our alliance should have been bigger. Maybe there was more things that we could have done so that you're not going home. But I can't vote for you because the rest of the house is voting against you. And I don't want to be on the bad side of the vote. And that crying lasted for about 30 seconds and then she was fine. And she kept trying and finally got a couple of tears out and then it went away real quick. Sorry guys, I am tired. I have had not enough sleep, but I want to get this out, get it edited so I can go to bed and you guys will have it in the morning. This is the funny part. Turner joins them. And Terrence is like, or she said, it's a good thing you came in. I want to talk to you. And Terrence is like, all right, I'll leave you all alone. She's like, no, sit down. I need you here for this conversation. Turner, I'm just letting you know that this week is not going as you planned. And Terrence is going home tomorrow. I just let him know I've talked to everyone in the house. And he's going to be the one voted out. And Turner said, can we do that on Big Brother? So they're not supposed to tell him who. I don't think they're supposed to tell him for sure who's being voted out until the vote. You can say, I think you have my vote, but you can't say the rest of the house is voting you out. So Terrence said, oh, so we can do that in Big Brother now? I mean, Turner. And he was so cute. I have to tell you, he was pissed. He was fuming, but he held it together and he was very condescending to her. And he says, well, you know, I don't like to hear this. It isn't good. And Nicole said, well, I just want you to know that Daniel and I wanted to vote for him, but the rest of the house wants to vote for Amira to stay. So we kind of have to go with the house. But just to let you know that Daniel and I know I speak for Daniel, and Daniel and I want to work with you in the future. And Turner said, well, thank you. And just the way he said it, his face was like, kiss my ass. But he was like, thank you. And she's just looking out for Terrence and Turner. She doesn't want to see them get blindsided, that they need to know what's going on. And Turner said, so you've talked to the rest of the house? Oh, yeah, I've talked to everybody. Turner said, okay. And she said something about having to go down and cook something later. And Turner's like, well, you can go ahead and go because I'd like to talk to Terrence alone. And so she leaves the room, and Turner immediately said, Terrence, I need to tell you something. But you can't tell anyone. You can't tell Nicole. You can't tell Daniel. You can't tell Taylor. You can't tell Jasmine what I'm fixing to tell you, because it will screw up my game. And Terrence said, no problem. You got my word. It doesn't leave this room. And he's like, you're not going anywhere tomorrow. He's like, I know the people who are voting to keep you, and I am 100% confident when I put you on the block. I was 100% confident yesterday, and I'll be 100% confident tomorrow that you're not going anywhere, that Mimir is going to be the one walking out the door. He said, they got this whole little girls thing going on. They think that everything's confident, that they're so confident that they have this in the bag. Amira's not even campaigning. She hasn't talked to me more than 5 minutes all week. And Turner said, I just want you to know that you're good. And he said, obviously, you're going to be nervous after, I don't know, whatever the F that just was. But I'm telling you, you're not going anywhere. He said, although I'm sure she did it I'm sure it was heartfelt. He said, but premature or something like that. He's like, I just don't want you to stress. And then it goes off of them, and Jasmine and Amira are laying in her bed. And Indy comes in, and she's complaining because Daniel's being mean to her, because he told her that he didn't think that she was going to be able to eat at midnight. I don't know why he told her that, because Wednesday night at midnight is when the have-nots get to eat again. So they have some kind of fuel for the next day. So I don't know if he was just joking with her or what, but she was all pissed off about it. Amira tells Jasmine that Daniel's wanting to give Terrence a sympathy vote, but she knows that he ain't fooling nobody. He thinks he is, but he ain't fooling nobody. He's doing that so he can be buddy-buddy with Turner. Him and Turner are working together. They're still convinced, the girls are still convinced, that Daniel and Turner are working together, and that Nicole knows everything because she is Daniel's number one. Terrence fills Jasmine in on her conversation with Nicole. He doesn't say anything about what Turner told him, but he does tell her what Nicole said to him upstairs. And Jasmine's like, wait, she said the girls? He said, yeah, she said the girls and Monty, that she had talked to y'all, and that y'all were voting to keep Amir, and that I was going home. And Jasmine's like, she didn't talk to me. She's like, wait a minute. So she's up there in the HOH room telling the HOH that she wanted to vote for you, her and Daniel wanted to vote for you, but that they couldn't because the rest of the house wasn't, and they didn't want to be on the wrong side of the numbers. And Terrence said, yep. And she said, oh, that's some shady shit. She said, so she's trying to make it look like all of us are voting you out. And she's just saving face. And Terrence said, yep. And Jasmine said, that's some shady shit right there. Like, my daddy always told me, trust your gut or something like that. And she's like, I knew I couldn't trust her. She's like, that's just messed up. So that's where I'm ending this video with that conversation. I'm sure there's probably going to be more, because when something like that happens, they take it and the girls just run with it. So I'm sure that even by the time I get back on here to catch up again, that they've probably had 15 conversations and to different people about it, because that's how it's been going. So that's all I have for you guys tonight. Let me know in the comments what you think. Cannot wait for tomorrow night's episode. I don't know if we'll get an HOH out of it. So what I will probably do is I won't do a video tomorrow night until I find out who gets HOH, and then I will probably jump on and do a quick video or recap of the show and then who got HOH. So I am taking my butt to bed after I edit this video. And I will see you guys tomorrow. As always, much love.